8,635,312 remain unresolved as details below.
So, Accountant General.
The voucher, the voucher amount is, as per Auditor's table, 138,716.89. Now, it is comprising with several invoices from NAVEC. One of the invoices was detached. That is why we have this difference. But the analysis that was on the face of the voucher was having the comprehensive amount, and we will submit that invoice as part of the update.
Audit?
We will confirm what the information is made available.
And that update also fall under 25th submission.
Yeah. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
As at the time of finalizing this report, this was the situation. We will just give an update as to what happened following the conclusion of this project.
So you said that you will find out, because as at that time, but now it's been like 2 years, and you will able to find that.
Yes, this audit was just concluded in September of 2025. And now he's giving an update to the committee that they went back and investigated this difference, and now they have additional information which they will be provided to the committee. So we can only confirm one way submit, and it will be made available for us for confirmation. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. We proceed. Page 62, Finance or AGD. And this one is miscalculation of payments. The amount indicated, or the amounts indicated in the table below, and under the audit recommended that the management adhere to the dictates of financial regulation by using the correct charts of accounts when making payments. Management response.
Management noted with concern and strongly agree with point raised. Henceforth, the Budget Directorate and Accounts Unit will collaborate to ensure that budget lines are charged appropriately.
By the way, this is Ministry of Finance, so it seems
They were here.
okay.
They were here.
Yeah, they were here, but there's...
Okay, NAO, then they will take the follow-up questions. NAO?
Auditors coming. Management response has been acknowledged. However, the finding is unresolved as at the date of finalizing this management letter.
Finance? Is finance here? Huh? Yes, what is your take? The situation will be regularized immediately.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether it's already regularized, but I would like to ask to see the happening of this families.
and the feedback be given latest 25th, right?
Yeah, that's right.
The update. Huh?
Yes, yeah, that's fine.
Listen here.
Yes.
I want to understand what type of regularization are we looking at?
The manager responded, and then henceforth indicated that the memo from the Directorate of the Budget communicating payment of this nature to accounts will now strictly quote the appropriate budget line to be charged. So that's the action the management intend to take, and then the director of budget is supposed to be responsible for that. So on that, I believe that's the regularization they meant to do.
Okay.
You look at the action, that action will entail what is the regularization expected. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
The recommendations would be futuristic in that any action they are going to take now, going forward, this should not recur. There should not be a repeat of such finding. That should be the action that should be taken. But this has already been done, and they can't correct it.
It's already done, they can't correct it.
Yeah, moving forward now, such findings should not recur. That should be the action to be taken.
Is it reflecting in the subsequent
Audits.
Is it reflecting?
It was not captured as a prior issue, but then we will also, as part of our procedures, we will be tested on an annual basis as we do the audit.
It's not reported 2024.
No, it was not reported in 2024. But as we audit, if we come across such issues, we do report on them.
Not reported 2024. Then we'll take that as resolved for now.
Yes, for now, unless the surface again in 2025.
Well, for now it's resolved.
As well.
Hmm?
Yes.
Okay. The next 64 for finance. On percentage supporting documents, the amount involved a total of 28,276,210.88, and then under the audit recommended management provide the missing documents to the audit team for verification without delay, and in future payments be supported with adequate documentation. Finance?
Yeah, the vouchers are available.
They are available.
Yes.
Audit?
This issue remains unresolved.
They are available. Did you make them available after the audit?
Yes. You know, listen here.
Hmm?
The vouchers are here. They were reviewed by the auditors with their supporting documentation.
Mm-hmm. Auditors?
As at the end of this audit, these were not provided to us.
What
So
were they provided later?
No. We just giving an update now. Because even the management response just mentioned that PS Mafia, meaning that they didn't indicate that the vouchers are available for your inspection.
We will submit the vouchers as part of the Fpac for 2025, by 25th of February 2026. But the vouchers, I'm having them here, and they are having the green patch of the auditors. But then we will submit them with their supporting documents as part of the updates.
Okay.
Madam Chair,
Mm-hmm.
just for a clarity, I think we need clarity here. Or we need to make clarify this point. We said unpresented supporting documents. We're querying about this. So they need to check the adequacy of these supporting documents that are attached to the vouchers. And then they more refer to Appendix E for guidance.
So the issue is on the supporting documents to the vouchers.
Now,
Audit?
if you go to Appendix E,
Mm-hmm.
the first voucher, 15 PV 23006, the request for personal file for further review. The personal file of the individual is available. The second voucher is the same. It's the same individual. The third voucher, the judgment document is not attached. That's what they requested for. The following one is request for copy of invoice and and the identity of vehicle serviced. This is Arias.
So what is requested on the Appendix E, that's the information you're supposed to provide, right?
Yes.
Good. You can act on that
Okay.
and make your submission by 25th of December. Oh, February. Want to go back to December? Next, page 65. Non-disclosure of outstanding areas by ministries and departments. This one is AGD, right? And the amount, the outstanding areas involved is 34,078,472.42, and the Accountant General should adjust the financial statements to reflect the actual outstanding areas owed by government. Management response?
We will contact the internal auditor to get the full comprehensive list of all outstanding areas by MDE.
It was noted that there was separate excess on areas,
Exactly.
and that this finding has been superseded by that excess.
That's correct.
So what do we do in this case, audit?
Yeah, we just have to rely on that exercise.
We rely on that excess.
Exactly.
Hmm?
Yes.
So Accountant General, take note. We are advised to rely on that excess. Go to page 66. That's for justice. I'm not sure whether they're here. They're not around. Then Accountant General. Can you step in for them? Huh? For finance. Finance, take note. Fiscal risks from rising contingent liabilities. The amount involved 9,837,200 in 2021, and then 112 million 443, 67.60 in 2023. With 3 is it billion or million? 3,648,481,069.0 in potential liability spending for 2023. With that, the audit advanced the recommendation as follows: that the government improve the management of contingent liabilities through better monitoring and regular updates, enhanced disclosure and proactive legal risk mitigation to protect this fiscal stability, and that promote arbitration and out-of-court settlements to minimize legal costs and reputational damage, and as well as educate government agencies on litigation risks and fiscal responsibilities to prevent negligent action leading to lawsuits. Management response?
This is noted, definitely not almost just take the business. However, we will collaborate with them to take stock of outstanding cases for administration. Now, I was just saying that this is noted is a concern, and it's already causing some fiscal challenges. However, we notice and we continue to collaborate with MOD.
Are you making explanation or you are reading the response? Can you limit to the response, then
Okay,
explanation will come later?
This is noted. MOFIA will enhance collaboration with MOD to take stock of outstanding cases of arbitration. We also include contingent liabilities relating to arbitration in our fiscal statement and debt analysis.
Can you note the action to be taken? That's here. The next row, action to be taken.
Yes, the Directorate of Loans and Debt Management will collaborate with MOD to establish outstanding stock of arbitration cases.
Okay. Before I make further comment, audit.
Auditors, the management response is noted, thus the finding remains unresolved.
Ministry, you're supposed to regularize the situation by end of October 2025. Did you do so?
This one.
Mm-hmm. That's your commitment.
I'm not aware of this. Maybe my boss will report. This is not coming from me, neither my office. But in any case, I think this issue is really beyond us. I hope that we will relay the message or convey the message to Honorable.
Who is the officer responsible for remedial action? Director of Loans and Debt Management. Who is
No,
that?
we definitely this one. I don't think.
Who is your officer? Who is that officer?
I'm here.
You are the one speaking.
Yes, this is like a fiscal, it's a contingent liability activity. So we will need to engage MOD.
Did you do that? Did you do that?
I'm not sure.
You are the one.
Sorry, Honorable Chair. You know, I'm not the only guy in the office. Perhaps my colleagues might engage them. I don't know.
But who is the director?
To the best of my knowledge.
Who is the director there?
The director is Director Kulman.
Okay.
Yes.
But you are not the director. Okay.
No.
So now the director is supposed to do the engagement
Yes.
for remedial action and then regularize by end of October, and that did not happen. Is that right? So I'm confused.
As it is, yes.
It did not happen.
To the best of my knowledge.
That did not
Let me
happen.
put it that way.
Fine, we'll give you timeline for you to confirm the status of the regularization. But that commitment had been taken that it will be regularized. Whether that was done or not, we want to get the feedback.
Okay.
25th, February.
Okay. It's not.
Yes, Honorable.
No, Mr. Chair, I just wanted to ask Mr. Jawara again. Since he is not having any idea of how this thing is, I just wanted to know whether you've reviewed this management letter with the loans department, the director of loan and debt management, or the guy responsible that you're representing here now. Have you reviewed and discussed all these areas with him so that you know how to respond immediately? But by saying you didn't have much idea about it, and then giving a timeline of working this out to regularize the situation, which should have been acted, on this since October 25th. I just want to know how you do it.
Yes, usually issues of this nature we discuss at the office, and then proffer actions to remedy the situation. But apparently, perhaps they might discuss and take action, but not to the best of my knowledge.
Okay. Instruction has been given for you to give update by 25th February 2026. Can we move to page 68, run disclosure of accounts balances? The accounts are indicated in the table, and the audit recommended that AG should reconcile the ledger and financial statements and standing controls and reviews to improve accuracy and liability. Management response, AGD.
This will be adjusted in the revised financial statement.
Which year?
It was meant to be adjusted for the year under review, which is 2023.
2023.
Yeah.
And therefore, could we confirm in 2025?
No, you want me to react or you want them to raise down?
Sorry, I should not speak for audit. Audit, can you speak for yourself?
Auditor's comment. We have reviewed the revised EDP and the financial statement and noted that there is no disclosure for interest balance in the financial statement as shown below.
Account?
We've looked at this and we want to confirm that the interest clearance account is disclosed or is recorded in the FS or the order payables. If you look at the total on the order payables and the total on the EDB, they are the same. So this was just abbreviated on the order payables, but it's there. It's within the figure of the order payables.
Audit, sorry, can audit clear that? Disclose on order payroll spot is there.
Honorable Chair, in the financial statement, disclosures on payables is done on the note 21. So I'm not sure where did you reported this. Because at the time of finalizing, this was still an issue. Because now we only reported on the interest clearance, meaning that the withholding tax and the current creditors were resolved.
Account?
Perhaps we have to go to note 21 and we compare the total on the next note and that of the ETV, the timer. So what happened is that amount was collapsed under the order payable.
So in that case, if you go to note 21 to do the confirmation, you're supposed to give the feedback or update.
Well, I'm not sure whether we are to provide an update. They should satisfy themselves because we still hold the view that it's...
No, if you go back to do the confirmation, you should provide the information, then they satisfy themselves with that. According to what is lacking is if there is any, and you can provide, then it's supposed to be subject to their confirmation, right? Hmm? Audit?
Once they provide the details of this adjustment, we will confirm and then advise the committee accordingly.
Honorable wanted to say something? Huh? Okay, let's proceed. Can that also form part of the 25th submission?
Okay.
'70 transit accounts not cleared at the year end. That was noted, and audit recommended that AGD implement strict procedures, including timely reconciliation and stronger controls. Management response?
The reporting unit is currently working on clearing these transit accounts. However, it is important to note that due to the nature of government operations, some of the transit accounts will be clearing in the subsequent period.
Auditor's comment. This will be verified in the system for the subsequent period. Thus, it will remain unresolved. However, I also want to mention that this is a recurring issue from 2021 right to 2024. It's still an issue.
It's still an issue. The action to be taken as decided in the 2021 review. Okay? The decision that we have taken will be noted in this case as well. We can also capture this to be part of that. Right?
Okay.
'72 retrospective retirement of receipts was also noted, and the audit recommended that management establish stringent controls to prevent the acceptance of backdated receipts and ensure all impact transactions are properly authorized, recorded, and reconciled within the prescribed timelines. Management response?
Mr. Chair, this is for GAF, but I'm not sure whether they're here.
Yeah, armed forces.
Okay, so we just want to advance the response that was provided. These are reimbursable interest. Therefore, it is possible that no cash allocation is initially available. In such cases, the individual may occur the expenditure personally and will be reimbursed when the funds are made available.
Audit?
Auditor's comment. The issue remain unresolved.
AGD?
So, yeah.
Yes?
This particular finding relates to OP and GAF. OP and GAF.
Yes. Yeah. AGD?
Yes. As we stated in our management response, in terms of reimbursable interest, you will see some of these things happen. Let's say an individual holds an interest, and up to a point it gets exhausted. So whilst the process is ongoing for the retirement and then the reimbursement, individuals can pre-finance until the interest is issued again. And in that case, you will charge it under the interest that is issued. So usually those are situations that would cause this.
Yes.
Whatever it is, every time you expect, you are giving the receipt for that particular day. So when you retire everything, so you will have receipt for different days.
Yes.
So that is not backdated. So once you compile that, then you attach all individual receipts and attach it to the date. So you don't have to be backdated that. It is the actual date of the retirement you can record, but they will have individual days for record purposes.
You are right, and that is the case. But then the thing is, let's say for example, your interest got exhausted in January, 30th of January, and you will compile, prepare your report and submit it. So then it goes through a process of retirement through the system and everything. Then now, until that is cleared, retired, you cannot be given another interest. In the meantime, there are some emergency expenditure within the office that needs to be carried out. So in that case, they can come to you or come to me or whoever the interest holder is. If he has money, he can, let's say for example, we need an adapter right now. The individual can buy that and have his receipt. So once the interest is available, the check is ready, you can go to the person and then bill him what's that amount.
We fully understand that. But the purpose of auditing is to make sure that it is retired on time, and until you retire, you cannot use it. So there shouldn't be any bad thing. Until you retire, you have to go for whatever. Until you retire, you keep your interest. I think that is what we should have in order for audit purposes. Otherwise, everybody will be full retirement and then start using something that is not authorized. So it means that you are using something that is not authorized.
So maybe, Mr. Chair, ask the auditors, given this explanation of how reimbursable interest works, and maybe relate it to the PFA as it relates to the cycle of interest, and especially reimbursable interest. Maybe let's understand your intent, the intent, or the substance of what you're trying to bring across. But this is our understanding of the problem.
Audit?
Our response to this is very a simple response. It does emphasize backdating receipts. So you cannot backdate receipts. If you are giving an interest, you should retire first before you start another expenditure cycle. That's our argument.
Chair, can I comment?
Yes.
What you put here is kind of understood. But based on the procedure of interest, including the Auditor General, and is that what you do? And in fact, maybe let us understand the issue of backdating. Because you cannot do a transaction today and backdate it to get how much yesterday. That one nobody can accept. So let us understand what we mean by backdating of receipts as far as interest is concerned. And what is the practical thing to do?
Audit?
Let us just start.
Yes.
Honorable Chair?
Yes.
I think you cannot spend before you are issued an interest. Basically, that's what we are saying. So she has confirmed that we are going to interest. Sometimes they spend before they issue interest. So our point is that you cannot spend. That's the control that we want them to implement. Not to spend before the interest is been issued. Whether it's impossible or what sort of, or whatever form of interest that one of you have to spend first, complete the retire before you are issued another interest.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
we need to understand the mechanism of reimbursable interest. The approval that is given to you when it is a reimbursable interest is you should retire on or before 31st of December of that financial year. So now, as long as you have that approval, you can be incurring expenses, having receipts, and retiring. But now, when you retire, between the time you retire and you are issued a new interest, a lot of things may have happened. So now, government operation cannot be at standstill. Let's say that the door of the Speaker of National Assembly is not closed, it is broken. We have to fix it. But then again, the retirement is not out yet. Approval has been given to retire and have a new interest until 31st of December of that financial year. So that is the. But we have to be careful. The word backdate is the issue. It's not backdating. For instance, I can be in February or in March and having a receipt that was not retired as of January. That is what you mean by backdating, but it's not backdating.
The issue is, once you expend, you have to retire. That is what we are trying to see. You must retire before you start expending a new interest. And that is for control purposes.
Audit?
Mr. Chair?
Audit? Yes, sorry, audit.
Just,
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Come to audit.
I think we need to recognize that there is an issue here. But we also recognize that, there should be, continue, government to keep on doing, but we need to come up with a policy. To make sure that there is a minimum that you can spend pending, then, because this is reimbursable. It's different from year end. You don't have to spend, you cannot spend, you have to retire. Before year end, that's a different thing. Because this is a, it's not like a flow. That's the procedure. You have to retire before that. But again, come up with a policy to allow for a minimum that can be spent while you are processing the reimbursement. I think that needs to be recognized. You never have this. That should be answered. It has to be clear. Because the procedures are not clear. Because yes, we know the practical issues here, and we don't accept. Yes, we understand that yes, you have an issue. You have to spend. Because interest is just for petty some expenses. But come with your policy, address that.
Mr. Chair, can I say something? In as much as we are looking at procedures, but I believe it's just fair to be very practical. Like I had an experience where during the course of the FX, I was here on Sunday with my team. The interest was adjusted. I had to go to the bank, I had to withdraw, and I had to fund. Administratively, they had not retired because retirement takes a process. So, do we mean to say now that if such happens, then we would have to stop government operations? Sometimes it's at the expense of the individual. I have had some discussion with the security where they would tell you they had to dip their hands into their pockets to feed the team or to take care of issues. So sometimes you're doing it just to ensure that operations continue until the funds are available, because it takes a process to raise payments and process. But it will always be within the brackets of the interest that has been approved.
Let's clear them, then we come to members and audit can come. Yes?
Maybe before the auditors come in on this, I want to stick to the submission that anything you spend on that interest within the brackets of 1st of January to 31st of December, it's legitimate expenditure.
Honorable member?
Yes, yeah, my understanding is like if I'm the interest holder and then they give me money, maybe before the 30th, the money got finished and I've not received the other one. I cannot stop the activities. So I have to be spending. And then when I get the money for the interest, maybe I have to calculate from where the other money is, if I thought I was spending on activity.
I think that's my understanding of the explanation.
You provide that date.
You know, you would be having your receipts, you know.
But he's
Still be having your receipts with you.
He's not done.
But now, the interest has been approved, a check has been drawn, you go and you cash your check. And then you start spending up to a point. Obviously, you spend it gets finished. Now, it got finished today, for example. Now you have to compile and submit the documentation with all your receipts. You submit it. So they would capture it because interest is like an advance, you know. And the amount, when the approval is given to you, the date is important. From which day to which day, which means for the financial year, that is what they do. But the apostle is like, go spend, when you finish, you come back, we'll give you more of that same amount that was approved. You know? So now you go and then you go and you start spending. In the midst of, because war continues, life continues. So up to a point, the interest gets finished. That process of now going to submit, do your report and everything, now you go and capture it in the system. So that advance that was given to you is now revealed that you have come back, you have reported and shown us how you spent the money. During that process, it can take a day, 2, 3, 4 days, you know. Now during that process, once the retirement is happening on the system, it goes to another level of approval, blah, 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 until now a payment voucher is raised to give you that same amount again. You know, until that happens. Within those 4 days, will the office close like this and say, we're waiting until I have money? You know, that is the problem. But there is nothing like backdating, because it is within the approval that was given to you 1st of January to 31st of December. So I do not know what they refer to by backdating receipt, because nobody has the authority to go and change any receipt that was given to you for a legitimate expenditure.
Are you clear, Honorable Senate? Honorable Chair?
Thank you. Mr. Chair, AG, I think where we have a problems with the retirement of interest could be possibly like, for example, when you're given 100% interest for expenditure, and then before exhausted 100%, like you spend about 75% and you still have a balance of 25%. I think what should be done is like go and retire 75% and then request another 75, make it a round figure of 100 again, and then so that you don't have the problem of retiring the whole amount. And I asked, don't you have a limitation of the interest that we give in, for example, like when you exhaust, because normally if you take a loan, for example, when you're given a loan of 100%, for example, you need to exhaust that 100%, retire it, and then get another loan. Or buy 75%, a balance of 25, and then get 75, add it to the 25, make it 100, so that it will be easy for you to retire that interest.
Chair, do you want me to respond?
Yeah, you can respond.
Okay. On that, you cannot be given another one unless you exhaust this one and tell us how it was spent. You know, that is the retirement age. But this, it remains with 25, it remains with, you know, the procedure is not very clear in our rules. You know, you're given 100,000 or 25,000 or 10,000. The approval, we work on that approval. And that is the guiding principle. So you are not tied to spend it within 1 day or spend it within 2 days. No. You know, so you have to finish that money, report back. And I want us to go back to those years where we used to come here, stand before you, having millions of retired interest. You know, and we have to recognize the fact that whatever comes out of this work of the audit, it is in the interest of government to clear them all and put in measures supported by the Fpac to correct our actions. So we've come to a point where they go. Did you see all these reports? 4 years of audit, outstanding interest, which used to be in billions. Now we have come this far. Now we want to stall government operations in the name of what? you know. So let's be careful of what we say, because practically it doesn't happen. Even the auditors, that it doesn't happen to them. We can go and verify. There is no way you can stop government operations in the name of
where do you want us to be careful of what we say?
Sorry.
No, I'm asking.
I think you are making clarification.
yes.
Yeah, if you can control our emotions when we
No,
are.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I just asking Asia, she said we should be careful of what we say. So I just wanted to know where we should be careful of what we say. So in case I don't know what I'm saying. Thank you.
Yeah.
The reason I'm saying we be careful of what we say is, we say here that we do not allow this procedure, you know. So, and then we go to implement, we put government operations at a standstill. That is why I'm saying, if we are making a rule, let it be practical, let it be implementable, so that we do not come back again and say something different from what we already said. That is my position. So it affects us, it affects all of us. So we shouldn't be making laws because it is convenient to query or to say this today. And when it comes to implementation, it becomes a problem. That is why I'm cautioning that whatever we say, let us contextualize it so that we will not be shooting ourselves on the foot in the name of procedure.
Thank you, AG. Mr. Chair, just to be clear, AG, if you say, when you talk in that sense, are you talking to the auditors or to the National Assembly members?
No, as it relates to this topic, what we are saying here, you know, we're discussing this matter at hand, so I'm saying any decision, any rule that will come up tomorrow, you know, we should be careful of how we carve it so that implementing it will not be a challenge.
Can we go to the management's response? Let's try to understand what is entailed in the management's response. These are reimbursable interest, and therefore it is possible that no cash allocation is initially available. That means at that time the cash allocation is initially not available. In some cases, the individual may incur the expenditure personally and will be reimbursed once the interest funds are made available. You can pre-finance it, and when it's available, then it can be reimbursed. When we are doing this pre-financing,
That is what the system is trying to prevent.
I'm coming, that's why I said let's try to understand their response. Now you are saying that when the fund is not available, one can do your spending. When the fund is available, then you can be reimbursed. Now where does the difference lies? Is the auditors against that, or the act of dating, because the backdating is the issue. Are they against that act of pre-financing, or the date that is stipulated is what they are against? Your honors is on the backdate, and then that's the query is also on the backdate. But let's try to understand what actually is the backdate an issue. But again, also this issue of financing before the money is available, I want the position of the auditors on that as well.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair, for my colleague. I just want to, so that we can all benefit from this. I mean, this type of interest is considered as a reimbursable. So you know, I have special purpose. And also, the nature of the public sector is slightly different. Like when you have one institution, like reimbursing is faster within the institution. So this one there is a timeline. This is why I'm saying that we come up with a policy, define it, so that a minimum can be allowed that you can spend until such a time that you are reimbursed. Because otherwise it's going to be open. What if I spend more than before? Or people, you know, institutions start spending just like that, irrespective of if they will not follow up on the reimbursement. They will just refinance at such a time that they start claiming for the reimbursement. So this is what we don't want. And interest, we all know, is a topical issue. So I understand we are coming a long way. There is a marked improvement. But I remember that the other doesn't want to hear about interest anymore. Because why I'm saying that, because 2024 we had extended debate on this. And that's another, maybe that will another one will come up again. And in another perspective, I think in 2024. Is it there or was it there? So it's like, it wasn't, but I can understand that because they have done a lot. But it's still an issue. Interest, we need to address it so that we control it. I think we also need to recognize that there are some. So we have to define it. So set a minimum that can be allowed to be spent while you are maybe doing the transfers of project. Otherwise, we'll be open it. So that's what we want. Don't go on this. It's just that address the issue. Let's address the issue. There's an issue. Let's focus on the issue. Thank you.
Chair, I just want to put your indulgence and excuse me for maybe overreacting. But I just want to refer us to the appendix that the auditors mentioned on this query, which is Appendix G on page 200.
So I want to be clear on the point, the second point that I raised. That's regarding the spending before the money is available. Is the auditors totally against that?
That's what I said indirectly. We should not be just let loose like it. should be defined. How much can be allowed? I think they should come up with that policy. And this is what they can control.
So,
otherwise, we will go back to interest issues all over the place.
Okay, so you can see, I think what they are saying here is to establish stringent controls. So now, according to him, you need to put in place a policy, a control mechanism. So that doesn't mean that they are outrightly against spending before the money is available. But there has to be in place a policy that can put in place a control mechanism. If you are to do any such spending, there should be a maximum or limitation of how much you're supposed to spend. I think that's what they are advising. Yes. Yes.
I want to refer you to page 218.
Appendix
G. 218. Here, I am making reference to this appendix just to show you that there is nothing that is spent outside of that interest approval. Which means from the 1st of January to the 31st of December of that year, all the interests here have already been approved and these people are interest holders. Which means the amounts that they have spent will be within the limits of their approval. And looking at it, knowing that, let's say the first item, it's on in February, this must have been spent because the interest retirement was still ongoing. And this is like the feeding of the security, for example. Those interest holders, because they are waiting for their interest retirement, should they hold their hands instead of feeding the security? They say we're waiting for interests to be retired. So that is why I'm saying let's look at the practicality of these issues and whatever we come up with will be implemented.
Like the first one on the 8th of February.
Exactly.
So that one is that's the date on the voucher.
On the receipt.
On the receipt.
Voucher, the receipt.
That date.
Yes.
That's the interest voucher. That's the date on the receipt.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the issue on the back date here?
Maybe they should tell us.
If this one is on the receipt, this is the date on the receipt. How does the back date comes in?
Yes, the interest voucher would have the issue date as, let's say, 22nd of February 2023. that is when the interest is being issued. But this is February. It's like the January interest was retired. And by the time this was issued, this individual had incurred this expenditure on the 8th, whilst waiting for this interest to be paid to him. The voucher process approved and he received the cash from the central bank.
The issue date is on the 22nd February.
Yes.
And then the receipt date is on the, for the first one.
Yes.
The receipt date is on the 8th February.
Yes. So remember, he had an interest in January, which he has retired. Once he's waiting for the February interest to be issued, he had costs to spend on these items and waiting for that interest of the February to be issued to him.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, sorry. And then, Odi, can you please clear our position here? Where does the issue of backdate apply here?
Honorable Chair, I think our point has been made very clear. We are sticking to the record. What we are saying is spending has been made before the interest is being given. That is all that we are saying.
Yeah.
So as my colleague here said, they need to come up with a policy. We are not against them spending before they receive the interest. However, it needs to be in a coordinated fashion so that it avoids being misused. So yes, the interest was issued for the 22nd. However, before the interest is received, the already spending has been made. That is what all that we are querying.
Spending is done
And it is
before
in
the
line.
interest
That
is given. That's what the audit are querying.
Exactly.
Spending is done before the interest is issued. Is that the point?
Yes.
Huh? Spending is done before the interest is issued.
And Mr. Chair?
And,
You should ask why. And that is because they are
and what they are saying, they should put in place a policy to provide a proper control mechanism around that. Spending is done before the interest is issued. And they are saying that there should be a proper control mechanism around that.
Mr. Chair, I just want to say, maybe it's a choice of words. Money is spent or expenditure is incurred before the interest is reimbursed, as opposed to interest issued. So it's not the same. This is a reimbursement now. But I want to drop this and wait for your advice on how to proceed on this. Thank you.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Mr. Chair, I think in every Mr. Chair, I think in every procedure of budgeting, we have budget lines, and of course in every budget, most institutions have budget lines like miscellaneous, and of course if it is in connection with food, it has food and food services, especially with that. Normally they have food and food services in their budget. So if the person was given an interest and that needs to be retired, and meaning the interest, if they've already exhausted in the expenditure of, for example, the money that they have. And I had you say asking whether there will be need of holding your hands, meaning without doing anything or using any money to do any expenditure that you want. So what will you do with the food and food services that the budget, the allocation has been granted? And of course the miscellaneous, because the purpose of the miscellaneous will be the aside expenditures, I think. Like, for example, when you exhaust some of your budget lines and you still need little expenditures, you don't need to sit and fold your hands. You can take it out from that miscellaneous and do the little expenditures before the other interest is granted. Thank you.
Chair.
Yes, Accountant General, can you complete what you want to say? Honorable Cham, you are done?
Chair, I say let's not belabor on this. This is very straightforward. It's very straightforward. Even a layman may think otherwise. And this is what the auditors are telling you. Come up with a policy that will regulate this thing. Because interests are specifically for a purpose, isn't it? And they were acting on the information given to them. And as for that information, the interest was issued on the 22nd. But monies were expended before on the 22nd. So this is just simple. Let's just agree as they have recommended and move forward.
Pierce?
Yes, if I can allow situations like this to occur. I just want to bring 3 issues. One is about the backdating. The backdating is now you are giving interest, the interest is finished on the 15th. Then you process on the 30th, your next interest comes in. So in between 15 and 38, there is a receipt. And this receipt is attached to the 30th interest when we are retiring. So it will appear as if it is backdated, but it's an expenditure within that period. The second issue we are trying to bring up is the issue of the cash allocation. There is not cash allocation always readily available. This is affecting the interest allocation itself. So we have sensitive matters. They are taking maybe police or security as an example. But we have hospitals. We have sensitive operations that require interest, disposable interest. And in terms of policy, I think there is a policy in place. The policy already said that you are giving 10,000 interest, you will always be reimbursed 10,000. It's a policy already. Now, when you are going to spend between the interest exhaustion and the new interest, you can only spend on 10,000. You cannot go beyond 10,000. The policy is there. So I think we need to look at this from operational point, as the Accountant General said. These are issues that are going to affect our sensitive operations, and then it needs to be looked at.
Yes.
I know everything, for me, I think everything is in place. It's just for us to, auditors, they might be right, maybe the law says this has to happen.
Yeah.
But we are saying also that operationally, some of these things can be challenging. So that's my submission. Thank you.
Yeah.
As a layman.
Yeah, Chair.
Well, the PS saying that the policy,
Yeah.
sorry, let's get the PS. The policy is in place.
And you have
It's a matter of, implementing the policy. If you have challenge in implementing the policy, you are the one who made a policy. The onus lies on you to do the necessary adjustment or amendment to apply in a way that we feel operationally that's how it can be applied. But otherwise, if the policy is there, well, as long as that's the policy, you should implement the way it is. If you have challenge, you can also recommend and then try to review and then adjust your policy. That's the language and the line the auditors are speaking. And they will be very correct if that's what the policy says, for them to recommend to be in that way. Pardon?
Yeah.
We're actually implementing the policy
This way?
Yes.
Can you make that policy, can you provide that part of the policy to the committee?
The accounting procedures manual.
Yes.
And basically, this issue of backdating of, how do you call it, the backdating of transaction policy that they're mentioning, we are saying that is a contentious issue. We're saying it's not backdated, the transaction is not backdated. But we will make available to you as it is captured, interest is captured on the accounting procedures manual of the public finance.
I think backdate can be a choice of words, but the issue is on spending is done before the invoice is issued. Yes?
Earlier, Madam Accountant General said to be very careful on how to handle matters. I just want to ask, how would the auditors suggest for us to handle the January interest. Because of January, the warrant is out, card allocation is yet to be issued, impress as well, approval. So how would we handle it? Because of that, operation has to continue.
Do you have a policy that can address that? Not for the auditors.
Currently, as you have seen on that example that was cited, the interest issue, that is a form in the system to say that this, for that particular month, the interest was given to you on that particular date. But it doesn't mean that you have something like backdating and all those kind of things. Now, for the PS has mentioned the other issue, which is the cash allocation. Now the interest for January are being retired. Cash allocation is yet to be issued. Today is the 4th or 5th. So basically, that now matters are arising. And remember, let us put things into perspective. That's what we requested for. And the procedures are there, and I believe it's not broken. Then why fixing it?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I will come to all of you.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think we are elaborating or deliberating on something that is very immaterial. We have something that here in the report that are so significant that we need to pay attention to. Yes. I mean, the time that we are taking on this one, we pay attention to that on the other issues. It's more beneficial to all of us.
So what is your submission finally? Audit?
I don't know, if you're talking about the accounting manual, is it the one that you draft from, is approved? What I understand.
I saw some hands. Okay, one or two. I will get to you.
So if it is about, as I was saying, I didn't maybe clarify about when Honorable was right, let me say 75%. That's very within the institution. Because reimbursable will be faster. But this one you are talking about dealing with other institutions as well. But what we are saying is we recognize that there are practical issues, but we need to address it. We come up with something, institutionalize it, so that there are controls. That's what we want. That's what we want. We recognize what we are saying.
Okay. At the far end there, sorry, let's somebody is there.
I think we have something in place. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. The system is very clear. Every institution has your own internal control mechanism. If I'm an interest holder, my interest is getting exhausted. In my ministry, we have a cash allocation committee. I brought the cash allocation committee to meet. Before then, well, I requested that we need to do A, B, C, and D. Let it be documented. When nobody just come and find that there's a management decision to continue spending, the audience will respect that. You don't need to put anything in there. All what it wants is something to be documented to say that this is what the management has agreed and you are implementing that. The audience will not come and tell you that what the management decision is wrong.
That's your policy.
Yes, we already have something in place.
That's what they are recommending. We'll come to that. Yes, next. Let me allow the gentleman.
Before you allow him, maybe he can help us in his submission. Right now, as we speak right now, we're in February.
Yes.
And it is now. Right now, the submissions, January impress is exhausted. You know, people are sending their retirement. In the meantime, what is happening now? What should we do right now? Whilst we're waiting for the issuance until the process is complete. We don't spend because they have not completed the process to reimburse us. So what should entities do? So we need them to guide us on what we do with that, because as far as we're concerned, we have this procedure which we're implementing, but they have a problem with that. So here is February, we have spent January, we're waiting for cash allocation, we're waiting for retirement. So that is why I'm saying let us be guided, and whatever is agreed here, we go and we implement.
Okay, finally, the order. behind you.
Thank you very much, Chair. I think we hear from both auditors and AG. The issue here is both of them are saying that there's a policy in place, but it appears like practically it's not working. I agree with Honorable Cham and the auditors that the interest issue here, you cannot actually spend before an interest is issued. So in a practical scenario whereby there's a policy and the policy is not working, the policy needs to be reviewed. At various ministerial levels who are dealing with the Accountant General Department, they need to have them at this level in place, which is reflected in their operational manual and the policy that should be reviewed. Thank you.
Okay, back to the auditors, and we are done with the issue.
Yes, I think the AGD mentioned that they have an accounting manual, but I think that that manual was being reviewed. So it is still in draft form, it's being reviewed. So we're going to rely on that, unless it is approved.
It's not yet approved.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. The manual is in place, but not yet approved. Excuse me, AG.
Honorable Chair.
One meeting, please.
Honorable Chair, I move that we adjourn until tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Do you know tomorrow is Friday? No, please.
Tomorrow is what?
Tomorrow is Friday.
Then Monday. Then Monday.
Please. One minute, please. I think, honorable member, there was no day that we closed before 4. Before 5. All these days, we've been working up to about 5. In fact, yesterday was up to 6. But if it's 5, now we'll know the level where we are. There is proposals. If we cannot finish, but the agreement that was made yesterday was work to finish. But it appears that is very unlikely. What can we do if we cannot finish today? Because Monday we have scheduled for something else. Okay? Then a committee will come to that and make a decision. But I'm appealing, it's 4:30. If we can work up to 5, as we did previous days, then we see what we are able to achieve. If we cannot finish, then we will decide. Today is supposed to be the last day for the consideration. Then we can take a decision. Monday programs can be cancelled, we continue the consideration. But 25 after 4, let's close at 5.
Yes, but procedurally, it is within my remit as a member of the committee to move that motion. And as per our standing orders, committee's meetings close at 4 o'clock.
I'm also
out of common policy, we are doing it, but I'm seeing an unnecessary debate. We are entertaining unnecessary debate. This is very clear. People are saying there is a policy in place, and they requested for that, or they recommended for that. Why not produce it?
Yeah, I'm also reminding
you.
Excuse me, I'm only reminding you, perhaps maybe yesterday when we are closing, you may not be here. But this one that was taken, and we are serious on it, was work to finish.
I'm willing to withdraw my motion.
Yes.
Provided that we don't entertain.
Well, the entertainment still lies on us. At any juncture, you can say, let's close this debate and then proceed. You can do that.
I withdraw my motion.
So, honestly, even without the motion, I'm reading that our plan was to work to finish, but that is impossible. So I'll be talking to the committee if we have reached to 5 o'clock, that we can close for the day, and then the Monday schedules can be rescheduled. We continue the consideration. In fact, Monday and Tuesday are for GPPA to do the presentation and consideration. Then we can reserve both days for continuation of the consideration. We are halfway, or not less than halfway of 2023, and we have 2024 waiting. So it's not possible. We cannot finish it today. So we can close by 5. Is that okay?
5 is okay.
5 is okay. Huh? They are saying no, 5 is not okay.
I think it's better be closed now.
It's better be closed now?
It's better be closed now. Because the problem is, you know the staff as well.
Okay, I listen to you. So let's see. It's exactly 1/2 almost. So it appears Mr. Honorable Cham has succeeded in his motion. Okay, so the conclusion on the matter all boil down to proper control mechanism. I think that's what the auditors are advising. Those who don't have policy, please try to put in place the policy that should be guiding. And those whose policies are pending yet to be approved, make sure your policies are approved and the policies can be used to guide you. I think this is what the auditors are stressing on, right? And then try to tune that. The committee will decide that in our report, and that is what is going to prevail. On that note, can I call that we do the quoting, and any honorable member can move the motion for us to adjourn the sitting until Monday. With that, GPPA can be informed that your director be informed that your presentation and consideration for Monday and Tuesday will be rescheduled and will be communicated to you. Right? Yes, motion?
I move that we
Seconder? It has been moved and seconded that we adjourn the sitting until Monday at 10 a.m. prompt. Those in favor, please say aye. Hold on, and those not in favor, please say no. Let's continue to be here, as the turnout today is very impressive and encouraging. We want it that way. It's not the Accountant General to do everything for. Otherwise, when the report is out, that's the time institution will be struggling to be responding to queries. But now we are giving you the opportunity. If not addressed, we give you time, go and work on it and then report back. At the end of the day, the cases that will be reported to the plenary will be minimized. It doesn't tell, well, we go to the plenary, adopt, then that's the time you'll be working here and there, updating. It's not helping. But with this, the work is going to be very easy. On that note, I thank you and I commend you and I encourage that Monday, let's all turn up and continue the business. Thank you very much.
But